Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Mayanthi. I'm a qualified counsellor and I make videos all about how I became a counsellor and what you might want to know if you're looking to become a counsellor as well. So this video is going to be another counselling career Q&A. I've had a few questions come in on my last few YouTube videos, so I'm just going to go through some of those questions and answer the best I can, and if you have any questions after that, make sure to leave them in the comments below so I can answer them in future videos as well. So the first question is, I'm doing an undergrad certificate in counselling. Is this enough to start the profession? Like dealing with clients, it's a 44-hour credit course with assignments, quizzes, lectures, etc. So counselling and being a counsellor is quite an important role. You're working with people with potential mental health conditions or trauma or things that have been going on in their life that has been really impacting on them. So when you're working as a counsellor, you want to feel confident in that you're actually providing a useful service for them, because delving into these issues that they may be experiencing can then bring out other things, and it can impact on their mental health quite significantly. So basically, as I've said before, you don't have to be a registered counsellor in Australia to practice as a counsellor, but because you're dealing with such important issues and like human beings' mental health, you want to make sure you feel confident and comfortable and you feel that you're providing a service to the client that they're actually going to be able to take away with them and be healthier or be able to apply to their everyday life. So if you think the course that you've done has not quite given you the skills or the experience to then go and work with a group of clients, then that means you might want to look at doing another course or a diploma, a certificate, or even getting some volunteering experience, going and working in different organizations in different sort of case management type roles that can give you that confidence as well. So I think the more experience you have, the more comfortable you may feel, but you want to just make sure that the course you're doing has given you enough skills and experience to then go and practice. What I found was, before I did my own practice and before I even worked as a one-on-one counsellor, having other roles in other organizations where I was more like a social worker, that actually made me feel more comfortable and confident in then working as a counsellor one-on-one. And you want to continue doing your professional development as well, because learning about different things as you go throughout your career will help you then apply those new skills and new experiences to your client work as well. So there was another comment, this is more of a comment rather than a question on another video, but it was basically, there is a branch of psychology which is called counselling psychology, which deals with most of the duties of a clinical psychologist. Basically, you treat the person, you also need to do diagnosis based on the DSM-5, or the referral must be there. So this was on my video of what's the difference between a counsellor and a psychologist. But yes, there is a branch called counselling psychology, which psychologists can do or they can specialise in. So I'll make a separate video on that if you're interested in knowing a bit more about that as well. So the next question is a bit of a long one, so just bear with me as I read through it. But basically it says, "Hi, I'm thinking of becoming a school counsellor in Australia, but I do not have the background in psychology or education. I have a bachelor's degree in science. However, I was thinking of doing a master's in psychology and education. I'm not sure if I can do both the masters of psychology and education at the same time, as I have researched and can't seem to find a hybrid master's like that. I'm not sure if I can do a master's in psychology, as I haven't completed a bachelor's in psychology. So I was thinking of possibly doing the master's in education while also doing a diploma in counselling online. Would this be enough to find positions within a public school as a school counsellor?" Alright, so there was a bit in that. So in terms of finding a hybrid master's of psychology and education, you're right, I don't think that quite exists. Psychology is a very specific route to go down in terms of study. So you wouldn't be able to get into a Masters of Psychology without having done at least the Bachelor's of Psychology and the Honours. Or there are a few other pathways which I've made in another video, which I'll link down below. But yeah, you wouldn't be able to do a Master of Psychology without that specific route of study. So I think your idea of doing the Masters of Education while doing a Diploma of Counselling could work out. You would have to check what prerequisites you need to do a Masters in Education. I don't think you have to have anything specific in education that you've studied to then do the Masters in Education, but depending on where you decide to study the Masters, just have a look at what the prerequisites are so you can make sure you're meeting them. But I do think it's a good pathway to then also look at doing a Diploma in Counselling, because once you have the education study background and you also understand and know how to work as a counsellor through the Diploma of Counselling, then yes, you would potentially be able to get roles in schools as a school counsellor, but you may have to start off working as a teacher first. So again, if you have any particular schools that you're looking to work at, maybe talk to them first and just ask them what they would look at in terms of when they're hiring a counsellor, what kind of background they want. So the final question I've got here is from a viewer in India who said she has a 3-year graduation degree, which I think she might have meant graduate degree, and 2 years Masters in Psychology, and can she apply to work as a psychologist? So I'm going to assume that she's wanting to work as a psychologist in Australia, but I am going to make a different video about potentially working in Australia as a psychologist or counsellor with overseas degrees. So I will leave that specifically for that video, but yeah, I do think there are options and it'll just depend, but I will leave that for another video. So I hope that answered some of your questions. If you have any other questions, make sure to leave them down below, and make sure to also hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up button if you like this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.